Hello everyone. Today I will tell you a story. The story is titled, Thomas Sits Still When I Fall Silent. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you appreciate me. You can skip this if you don't and oppose. Like this video. Thank you very much. The story begins as follows. Tama is not a large dog. He doesn't take up much space in the room, yet somehow he fills it completely. On most days, our house is alive with ordinary sounds. My keyboard clicking, the kettle sighing, footsteps moving back and forth, and Tama's nails tapping lightly on the floor as he follows me everywhere. But there are moments when all of that fades. Moments when I stop talking, stop typing, stop explaining myself to the world. And in those moments, Tama does something simple and extraordinary at the same time. He sits still. The first time I noticed it, I had come home tired in a way that sleep couldn't fix. I put my bag down, forgot to turn on the lights, and sat on the floor with my back against the sofa. I didn't call Tama's name. I didn't sigh loudly or complain. I just sat there, quiet. Tama walked over, circled once, then sat down right in front of me. He didn't wag his tail. He didn't lick my face. He didn't bring me a toy. He simply sat, eyes soft, body calm, as if he had decided that silence was the right language for that moment. From that day on, I started noticing a pattern. When I spoke, Tama reacted with energy, tilting his head, bouncing slightly, responding with happy little sounds. But when I fell silent, truly silent, Tama slowed down. He sat. Sometimes he leaned gently against my leg. Sometimes he just watched me breathe. It felt as though he understood that my quiet wasn't emptiness, but something fragile that needed care. Our daily life continued in its small routines. Morning walks, shared snacks, lazy afternoons. Yet woven into all of it was this quiet understanding between us. I began to realize that Tama wasn't just reacting to my voice or lack of it. He was responding to my emotional volume. When the world became too loud for me, Tama chose stillness. And in doing so, he gave me permission to be still too. As days passed, Tama's habit became a gentle mirror for my own emotions. On weekends, when I sat by the window watching traffic pass, lost in thought, Tama would sit beside me, facing the same direction. We looked like two silent observers sharing the same scene. There was no need for words. Our breathing fell into rhythm, slow and steady. I began to test it without meaning to. One evening, after a long conversation that left me emotionally drained, I stopped mid-sentence and stared at the floor. Tama, who had been chewing on a toy, immediately dropped it and walked over. He sat down, close but not demanding. His presence felt like a warm punctuation mark at the end of my thoughts. Not an answer, not a solution, just a pause. What amazed me most was that Tama never tried to fix anything. Humans often rush to fill silence with advice, reassurance, or distractions. Tama did none of that. He offered something rarer, companionship without pressure. His stillness said, "I'm here. You don't have to perform." Sometimes, in my silence, memories surfaced, mistakes, worries, unanswered questions. Tama would blink slowly, his tail resting motionless on the floor. He didn't judge my silence as sadness or weakness. To him, it was just another state of being. Watching him, I realized how uncomfortable humans are with quiet, and how animals often accept it naturally. Our bond deepened in those quiet moments. I started speaking less, not because I was sad, but because I felt understood without words. Tama taught me that connection doesn't always require noise. Sometimes it requires attention. And sometimes love shows itself best when it chooses to sit down and wait. One rainy afternoon, the power went out. No lights, no internet, no background noise. I sat on the floor again, wrapped in a blanket, listening to the rain. Tama walked over, sat beside me, and stayed there for a long time. In that shared silence, I felt something settle inside me. A sense of calm that didn't come from solutions, but from presence. Tama sitting still when I am silent has become one of the most meaningful lessons in my life. He reminds me that not every moment needs to be filled, not every feeling needs to be explained. In today's fast-moving world, we are taught to respond quickly, speak loudly, and constantly prove that we are okay. But Tama teaches the opposite. He teaches that it is okay to pause, to listen, to simply exist beside someone without trying to change them. In our current lives, this story carries important advice. Learn to respect silence, your own and others. When someone you love grows quiet, don't rush to fix them. Sit with them. Let your presence be enough. Animals, especially dogs, show us how empathy can exist without words. By observing them, we can become better listeners, kinder companions, and more patient humans. Tama also reminds us to value our relationships with animals not as ownership, but as partnership. They sense our emotions deeply and respond with honesty. If we slow down and pay attention, we can build bonds that heal both sides. In a world full of noise, choosing stillness, like Tama does, can be a powerful act of love for humans and animals alike.